Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Money in Bank pay-per-view results for 2019. And we go to the first match of the pre-show. And it's none other than a non-title match. Usos versus Daniel Bryan. And tag team champions, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. Go to ringside, Tom Phillips with Corey Graves. Music hits, out comes SmackDown tag team champions Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan for non-title action. Greg Hamilton does the ring introductions. Out next comes Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. As they come down to the ring, they take the microphone and compare to Eric Rowan and Bryan to Patrick Starr and SpongeBob SquarePants. Bell rings. The fan chant for SpongeBob as Bryan starts off with Jimmy. Back and forth start. Jimmy with big chops to Bryan. Jay tags in and takes over for a 2 count. Rowan tags himself in and Jay doesn't realize it at first. Rowan gets the upper hand and launches himself at Jay to take him down. Rowan yells out and keeps control as we cut to a commercial break for the pre-show. Back for the break, Bryan comes back in, works Jay over for a few minutes. Rowan tags back in and drops Jay for a 2 count. Rowan keeps Jay grounded down as Rowan with more offense and a shot to Jimmy, knocking him off the apron. Bryan tags back in and works Jay over in the middle of the ring, keeping him down. Bryan with a running drop kick in the corner, and Jay catches him on the third attempt and nails a Samoan drop for a pop. Rowan tags in and stops Jay's tag. Jay sends Rowan into the ring post, and fans are rallying for the Usos. Jimmy gets a hot tag and unloads on Rowan in the corner. Rowan fights him off, but Jimmy comes right back twice. Jimmy with a super kick. Rowan blocks a Samoan drop. Jimmy counters the move, and Rowan runs into a big boot. Jimmy flies off the top and takes Rowan down for a 2 count. Rowan powers out of the pin and launches Jimmy to the apron. Jimmy with a kick to the apron, from the apron, then goes up top, but Rowan catches him in midair and turns it into a jackhammer for another close 2 count. Who do you think he is? Goldberg? We go to another commercial break with Rowan in control. Back from the break, Rowan hits a double superplex on both opponents. Bryan waits for a tag as Rowan goes out for a breather in front of the announcers. Bryan would kick to Jay while he's on his knees. Jay ducks a kick and nails Bryan in the head. Jay goes on with offense and super kicks with Bryan down. Jay goes to the top and leaps him off, but it's botched as Bryan takes him into the label lock. Jimmy finally runs into a break to break the hold. And I could not find the action on my normal sites I go on my cell phone. Probably blocking all the feeds and what have you. But it didn't say feed. Not found. Rowan grabs Jimmy and sends him to the apron, but Jimmy sends Rowan to the floor. Jimmy runs the ropes for a suicide dive, but Rowan catches him. Jay makes a save, and they hit a pair of super kicks on Rowan, but he's still standing. Double super kick drops him to one knee. Usos hit the ring and runs the ropes for a double dive. Finally bringing Rowan down. Bryan runs the ropes, but the Usos meet him at the ropes with a big shot. And the Usos go up top from each side of the ring, top of the corners, and they hit a double splash on Bryan for a non-title win. After the match, Usos recover and celebrate as we go to replays. And that's it for the pre-show. Money in Bank pay-per-view opens up with a graphic in memory of Ashley Massaro, who passed away this past Thursday at the age of 39. And I still haven't seen an autopsy report, so I'm leaving it like that. But others, there was a rumor going on from a former WWE wrestler, Shelly Martinez, on her social media pages, and she said that she didn't say anything, but rumors going around. Well, the rumors turned out from Yahoo and another dirt sheet verifying the same news, and said that they have found out that it was a suicide. She left some type of notes and what have you. I haven't seen anything. Nothing confirms it. Anyways, back to pay-per-view. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Natalya versus Dana Brooke versus Naomi versus Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose versus Bayley versus Ember Moon versus Carmella. all 8 women in the match. I got home about 36 minutes into the pay-per-view. I started it at that point, and it kept giving me different speeds and what have you. It would freeze, then fast forward. It'd take me to live action, and then I have to go back, and it would not go back to the original. So the network was having an issue. Big time, all through the pay-per-view. I missed this whole second hour, so I'm going to your results from some of the dirt sheets. Well, we go to the ring, and Naomi gets to finish her entrance. Phyllis welcomes us to a sold-out XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. As Mike Rome does the introductions, Tom is joined in by Renee Young and Byron Sexton for the pay-per-view. Carmella was next competitor. Hit the ring, and we see some ladders all around ringside. Referees are all around the ring. Nikki Cross is out next as a replacement for Alexa Bliss, who is not medically cleared due to a reported concussion. Well, she had one wrestling match last week, 2 weeks ago, and replaced this week. Mandy was out next with Sonya Deville, who walks Rose all the way to the ring. Ember Moon is out next as we see the Money in the Bank briefcase hanging high above the ring. Danny Brooke was out next. Tom introduced the Spanish and German announce teams at ringside. Natalya was out next. Bayley is the last superstar out for the match. Bell rings and everyone starts bawling. Cross traps Carmella and Dana in the apron and beats him up. Cross then brings a ladder in while Naomi works on Bayley, and Natalya works on Rose. Nikki takes them all down with a ladder. Cross with one more ladder shot. And then Dana drop kicked the ladder into Cross. Taking her down, Moon and Dana struggle for the ladder. Moon rams Dana back into the corner. Cross jumps on Moon's back with a sleeper hold. Moon rams Cross back out onto a ladder leaning in the corner. Rose tosses Moon out of the ring and runs up the ladder in the corner with a knee to Dana's face. Carmella tosses Rose to the floor as I went in my kitchen and was doing my dishes, thinking I could hear the action, but I couldn't hear nothing. It froze. What have you. So the rest of this match was on the dirt sheet. Carmella stops Natalya from the standing ladder up under the briefcase, as I was also in the kitchen after I finished my dishes, and I've made some queso. Delicious. Delicioso for y'all Spanish watchers. Natalya come back and leveled Carmella. Natalie stands Carmella face first into the ladder in the corner. Naomi avoids the same fate and leaps back at Natalya with a kick to the face for a pop. Rose and Naomi struggle for the ladder. Rose drops Naomi on her face and poses for a pop. Bayley drops Rose with a ladder to the gut. Bayley goes to stand a ladder up, but Moon runs in and stops her. Dana climbs the ladder, but Carmella pulls her off. Carmella also takes out Moon and Bayley. Rose stops Carmella from standing a ladder up. Carmella may have tweaked her knee at that point there. She bites Rose off and goes to the outside. Moon rocks Rose and drops her. We see referees checking on Carmella at ringside. Others struggle for their ladders, and Naomi takes a big kick to Rose. Another collision with ladders. Medics are checking on Carmella at ringside still. And now another referee runs down. Carmella limps away to the back, accompanied by medics and referees. So she's possibly injured. Dana fights off Ember and Bayley. Moon unloads on Dana. Dana slams Moon on the ladder and in the corner and traps her on it. Dana hits a springboard elbow into Moon on the ladder. Dana then grabs Bayley and they go at it in the middle of the ring. Bayley with a big knee to the face. Bayley with a sunset flip powerbomb onto a corner ladder on Dana. Bayley stands up the ladder while she's got the ring to herself. Rose runs in and stops her. Natalya helps Rose sandwich Bayley between the ladder legs. Naomi with a split-legged moonsault onto Bayley and a ladder. Cross runs in and hits a big spear to stop Natalya from climbing up the ladder. Moon stops Naomi from climbing up. Cross climbs up, but Moon stops her. Cross then takes out Moon with a spinning neckbreaker on the top. Dana pushes the ladder over onto Cross. The referee checks on Cross. Dana clears the ring and climbs up. Rose tries to stop her. Dana hangs from the briefcase for a few minutes, but she can't get it down. Rose gets it to the floor. Naomi climbs up to stop Dana from grabbing the case again. Bayley and Cross are also down on the ladder now. Natalya comes in and pushes them all over. Moon leaps off of another ladder that's outside the ring and hits a big eclipse on Natalya. Well, I got a chance to come back in and see that portion of it. Fans pop and chant, "Holy crap," now, as we get a replay. Rose stops Moon from climbing up. Rose plants Moon face first onto a ladder. Rose pushes a ladder out of the ring, stands another up on under the briefcase. Carmella comes back limping out with her leg taped up. Rose is shot. Rose meets Carmella on the ramp, and Carmella gets the upper hand, smashing her face into the ladder over and over. Carmella launches Rose into the barrier and drops her with a kick. Carmella lifts back into the ring and climbs the ladder while she has the ring to herself. Well, I'm back in the kitchen checking on my queso. DeVille enters the ring and pulls Carmella down to the mat. DeVille then hits a spear on Carmella. DeVille positions the ladder and goes back out to help Rose up. DeVille puts her hair up and rolls Rose into the ring. DeVille follows and helps Rose up as the fans boo. DeVille now places Rose on her shoulders and climbs the ladder with Rose on her. DeVille places Rose near the top and tries to push her up. Rose grabs the briefcase, but Bayley runs up and stops her from unhooking it. Bayley sends Rose and DeVille to the mat for a pop as Bayley unhooks the briefcase and wins the Money in the Bank match. After the match, Bayley clutches the briefcase up high on the ladder. As her music hits, fans cheer her on as she looks out and raises the briefcase in the air. We go to replay. Charlie Cruz enters the interview as I came back in and check it on it, and I see that Bayley has won. Asking her about the tag team with Sasha Banks and what they did and how she came to SmackDown. Bayley says she's proud of what she and Banks accomplished, but she came to SmackDown to prove a point, to remind everyone what she's capable of, and she did just that tonight. Bayley says she proved she's not just Bayley, she's Miss Money in the Bank. She goes back celebrating as the music hits, and I go back to my case I'm making. And the feed goes out again. Frozen. We see what led to Sami Zayn replacing Braun Strowman in the men's Money in the Bank match. Triple H is on the phone backstage when Sami comes in. Sami says they have a big problem. Strowman. Triple H shuts him up and says Braun has been banned from the building. Sami still wants some protection, but Triple H tells him to go put his fist up. We see Rey Mysterio backstage with his son Dominic, as I missed that little action. And we get Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe. U.S. title match. And we go to ring out comes Rey Mysterio. I didn't see this match because, like I said, whenever I go to it, the feed is speeding up and everything. I didn't get to see none of that, none of this match. I read, and it's a quick match. Bell rings. Joe goes to work on Ray's leg with kicks. The match even happens faster than I'm not even saying it, according to this with the results on it. Fan chant for Joe as he keeps control of Ray. Ray fights back with speed. Ray comes back and hits a splash to drop Joe. Joe comes back and works Ray over. The senton from the top apparently busted Joe's nose open. They go on for a few minutes until Ray pins Joe out of nowhere for the title change and countering a powerbomb attempt. Winner and new U.S. champion Rey Mysterio. After the short match, Joe and Ray are both shocked. We see Dominic backstage celebrating. Referee hands Ray the title at ringside, and he's still shocked. We go to replays as Ray's music hits. Graves insists that Joe's shoulder wasn't down. Coleslaw agrees. Dominic comes running down to celebrate with his dad. Joe suddenly attacks Ray on the ramp and runs him over. Joe keeps up the attack and going in and brings it into the ring. Hitting in a Uranagi, Joe turns his attention to Ray's son now, who watches from ringside. Joe drives Ray into the mat again and hits a big senton as Dominic watches from ringside, and the fans boo. Joe walks off while Ray's son checks on him in the ring. A bloody Joe watches from the stage and heads to the back as Ray's music starts back up. We see Braun Strowman going on a backstage rampage. I'm catching the feed back at this point, and he's looking for Sami Zayn. Apparently, the feed speeds up again. They show a steel cage lowering over the ring, and we cut to a video package for the match. Steel cage match, The Miz versus Shane. And again, I did not see this match. We go back out. We go to the ring. Out first comes Shane McMahon. Greg Hamilton gives him a grand introduction. Well, probably like he always asks him again. And then finally he's like, okay, that's it. I don't know. I didn't see it. Miz was out next. Bell rings and Shane goes right for the cage wall. But Miz stops him from escaping. Miz with a takedown and strikes on the mat. Shane fights him off and tries to climb again, but Miz stops him. More back and forth. Now, fans chant yes as Miz hits Shane with kicks in the corner. Miz keeps up the aggressive offense and kicks Shane while he's on his knees. Miz with more kicks now. Shane catches a kick and launches Miz into the steel. Shane boots Miz against the cage wall, keeping him down. Shane keeps Miz down, and some fans are chanting for CM Punk. Shane with a two count. Of course, this is best in the world match versus Miz. Self-appointed world champion. What did he do? He only wrestled one match in replace of Miz, who wasn't actually injured. Shane keeps Miz in the corner and then launches him into the cage. Shane sends Miz face first into the cage wall again. Miz with a torture rack and a neck breaker. Shane covers for a pin attempt after a reversal in the middle of the ring. Shane climbs up for a coast to coast, but Miz catches him and applies a figure four submission. Shane calls for the cage door to be open. As he inches towards the opening, Shane breaks a hold and gets half his body out of the door, but Miz stops him and pulls him back in. Shane brings a steel chair in, but Miz kicks him as he tries to swing it. They both go down. The referee checks on them. They both see a chair in between them. The chair that was brought in by Shane. Miz grabs it first, and Shane begs him from his knees, saying he's sorry. Shane runs to the cage door again, but Miz hits him with a chair. Miz with another chair shot. Miz bounces the cage door off of Shane's face and delivers another chair shot, and then another. Miz keeps the chair shots up, and fans chant for more. He delivers. Miz goes for the skull-crushing finale onto the chair and nails it. Miz covers for the pin, but Shane gets his foot up on the bottom rope. Referee breaks the pin, and Cole yells at him about the rules of a steel cage match. There are no rules. Cole's not worried. This referee is worried about his job. Some fans chant bullcrap. Now, as I would have been saying too, come on, this is a no disqualification. Miz takes Shane to the top for a skull-crushing finale attempt, but Shane resists. Shane knocks Miz to the mat. Shane also falls to the mat as the referee checks on them both. Shane gets up first and starts climbing to escape. Miz stops him with chair shots to the leg, again, and feet. Miz climbs up and Shane tries to make it over to the top of the cage. They trade punches on top of the cage. Shane gets hung upside down on the top, kind of like the tree of woe, way up in the air. Miz slams his face into the cage a few times, and he falls away to the mat. Miz flies down with a splash for the top, but Shane still kicks out of two. Shane applies a triangle submission and tightens the hold. Miz bridges into a pin for a 2 count. Of course, this is over the top, not no pinfall in the steel cage match. The door is open, but Miz stops Shane from crawling out again. Miz grabs Shane by the legs and catapults him into the cage wall, but Shane grabs the cage and starts climbing up. Miz stops him, climbs up as well. Miz looks to hit a big superplex from the top of the cage. Fans pop when they see what he's thinking. Shane hangs on, but Miz keeps trying with half of Shane's body hanging over the other side of the top of the cage. Shane slips out of his shirt and falls to the floor to win the match. Another BS match, like they did with the Falls Count Anywhere match. After the match, Shane lays on his back shirtless as Miz looks on from the top of the cage. Shocked, we go to replays as Shane's music hits. The camera cuts backstage to Sami Zayn hanging upside down. Triple H and crew members push the camera from the backstage area, and they rush to get Sami down. I still did not see this, and what have you. And they apparently announced that Mick Foley will be on Raw to introduce a new title. I don't think it's a new title. Maybe a new title belt. But stay tuned for more on the pay-per-view. We got the WWE Cruiserweight title match, Ari Daivari versus Tony Nese. Of course, it's a 205 live division. We got a ring as Vic Joseph is at ringside with Aiden English and Nigel McGuinness. Cruiserweight champion Tony Nese is out first. Actually caught this match in progress. Ari Daivari was out next, driving a car into the arena next to the stage. Daivari makes his way to the ring as we see the other international announced teams in the arena. I caught this action in the middle of that, so I didn't see Daivari coming out in the car. Daivari looks to take control early on, but Nese fights back out of the corner. Nese with several kicks. Nese dodges shots from Daivari and hits a leg drop for a close 2 count. More back and forth. Daivari drags Nese face across the top rope. Daivari brings Nese to the mat and shows off some as fans boo. Nese can't see now and misses some swings as Daivari takes advantage of the handicap. Referee checks on Nese and warns Daivari. Daivari keeps control and works Nese around the ring, applying submissions in the middle. Nese tries to power out, but Daivari keeps him bent in the corner of the ring. Nese overpowers and sends Daivari into the turnbuckles. Nese with a big left hand to make a comeback. Nese with a running kick to the head and a spinning kick. Spinning heel kick. Nese gets up and looks to mount more offense. Nese drops Daivari with a kick from the apron and hits a big shot from the top for a close 2 count. Daivari fights Nese off with back elbows. They tangle some more, and Daivari drives Nese back into the mat for another close pin attempt. Nese fights Daivari off with chops. More strikes between the two. Daivari rocks Nese with a big knee. Daivari counters with the pump panel driver. They go to the corner, and Daivari takes Nese up to the top. Nese blocks a slam to the mat. Daivari unloads with chops and boots to kick Nese out of the ring to the floor. Daivari follows, and Nese decks him. Nese rocks Daivari again and rolls him back in. Nese goes to the top, but Daivari cuts him off. Daivari brings Nese hard to the mat, but Nese kicks out at 2. Nese with a roll up for a 2 count. Nese sends Daivari back to the floor and leaps over to the top rope. As I go into the kitchen to finish off my cooking of my queso, come back in. As he's Daivari taking him down. Nese brings him back in and hits a 450 from the top for another close 2 count. Nese charging for a knee, but Daivari jumps up and super kicks him to the mat. Daivari goes up top, hits a big splash. Daivari keeps going with the signature moves, and he hits a big lariat, but Nese still kicks out. Nese with an open strike while Daivari is still sitting on the top. Nese with a hurricanrana and the big running knee to the face for the pin to retain. Winner and still champion Tony Nese. After the match, Nese stands tall and his arm is raised and has his music plays. We go to replays. Triple H catches up with Braun Strowman as I'm catching the feed. Still going now. Triple H gets what Braun's doing, but he's not going to be taking Sami's spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. As he's being blamed for what happened. Braun says he doesn't know what Triple H is even talking about. Triple H isn't buying it, but Braun insists. Triple H says he's not going to have Braun removed from the book. He is not going to have Braun removed from the building, but he will ask him as a professional, as Braun's boss, to leave. Fans in the arena boo, and Braun walks off. Michael Coleslaw is at ringside with Renee Young and Corey Graves again. Back in the pay-per-view. Coleslaw and Sami Coleslaw says Sami has been taken to a local medical facility and will not be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. No word yet on his replacement, but it will not be Braun Strowman, according to Triple H. We'll get a video package for tonight's Raw Women's title match. Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch. for the first of Becky Two Belts, the title defenses. We get to the ring. Out first comes Lacey Evans, Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. Becky Lynch was out to defend her Red Brand title in match number 1. We get formal ring introduction from Mike Rome after the belt. And the bell rings and Lacey covers her ears as Becky Two Belt chant starts up from the crowd. Becky immediately nails a drop kick and unloads on Evans in the corner as the referee backs her off. Becky tosses Evans to the mat. It's a basement drop kick for a pop. Becky takes Evans back down and Evans scrambles to the floor for a breather. Becky runs the ropes and hits the baseball slide. Evans grabs Becky on the floor, but Becky counters and sends her into the barrier. Evans pleads with Becky and tries jumping over the barrier. But Lacey sidesteps and tries to send her face first into another corner. Becky avoids it, but Lacey keeps on and finally gets some offense in. Evans works on Becky's arm and talks some trash while she's down. Evans stomps away on Becky's hand now. Evans with a gator roll in the corner as they both roll out of the ring. She continues working on the arm using the ring post on it as the referee counts. As they're still like collar and elbow tie up together and they just both roll. As the announcers call it a gator roll. She continues working on the arm using the ring post on it as the referee counts. Evans brings it back into the ring for a 2 count. Evans with more offense and another pin attempt. Evans keeps her grounded and taunts her. Becky with her arm dragged, but Evans comes right back with a neck breaker and a 2 count. Evans then pulls a rag, more like panties, with lace and wiping the sweat off of her face, rubs it in Becky's face and tries to do like Mankind, puts it in her mouth. Becky comes back swinging. Becky with a kick to drop Evans. Becky comes off the top with a flying forearm. Remember Tito Santana? The flying burrito? There you go. And Evans goes back down. Becky mounts more offense and the fans cheer her on. Becky with a Beck exploder and a shot in the corner. Becky comes off the top and barely hits a drop kick. As Evans moves back, Evans rolls to the floor for a breather, but Becky comes off the apron and takes her down on the outside. Becky brings her back in for a close 2 count. More back and forth action. Evans drops Becky on her face, follows up with a knee for a 2 count. More back and forth. Now, as it was just the knee drop like Charlotte Flair does. Evans then rolls Becky up, but the referee isn't counting the pin. And it looks like that he doesn't think that Becky's shoulder's down, but it's obvious. As Corey Graves said, that it was you could count to 4 at least. Becky goes right into the disarmer, and Evans immediately taps out. Becky Lynch is declared the winner. After the match, Becky takes both her titles, and stands tall as the music hits. Becky makes her exit, but the music interrupts, and out comes Charlotte. It looks like Becky's second title defense is happening right now. Becky is all smiles, and she tells Becky to get back in the ring. Becky realizes what's happening, and she just smiles, as she doesn't have to come back in the ring because it's champion's choice. Well, here we go. Second title defense, Charlotte versus Becky. Charlotte hits the ring, and Becky eventually follows, and the bell rings, and they go at the start. Becky sends Flair to the apron, but Flair drops her with a big kick. Flair goes to the top, cuts her off. And my prediction was that you get the interference of Raw loser, what have you, for the finish of the match. I'm not going to tell you what happened until I get there. Becky slams Flair to the mat. Becky rolls Flair up for a 2 count. Flair with chops. Becky ends up going for a drop kick, but it's blocked, allowing Flair to a fire Boston Crab with a reversal. Becky finally makes it to the bottom rope to escape the hold. Flair takes advantage of a 5 count, releases a 4. They unload on each other again with strikes in the middle of the ring. Flair drops Becky and smacks her. Becky avoids a big boot and drops Flair by jumping at her. They talk trash and trade more shots from their knees. They fight to their feet and keep trading big shots in the middle of the ring. Becky gets the upper hand and goes for the disarmer, but it's blocked. Flair knocks Becky down and puts boots to her. And Flair uses the bottom rope. One on Becky's head, one on the rope. As you know, you can release the pressure on one. Not many people know that, but as a wrestler myself, I know. Flair goes for the natural selection on the apron, but Becky hangs on to the rope, and Flair lands hard on the outside. Lacey Evans runs down while the referee is distracted. Becky with the woman's right while the referee is looking at Flair. Flair tries to take advantage, but Becky counters and rolls her up. Flair comes right back with a big boot for the pin to win the title. I disagree with that because when Becky had her with a roll up for the 1, 2, 3. Referees don't know how to count to 3 anymore. And with the botch from the previous spots, terrible referees. Some of these referees don't need a job anymore. Hell, WWE, you can hire me. I can act like I don't see anything. Winner and new SmackDown champion momentarily, Charlotte Flair. After the match, Flair takes the title, celebrates with her music. We're going to replace Flair, mocks Becky while she sits in the corner. Becky leaves the ring, unloads on Evans at ringside, beating her into the barrier. Flair drops Lynch from behind. Flair and Evans take turns on Lynch in the ring. Bayley's music hits, and here we come. Coming out with her newly won Money in the Bank briefcase. Bayley hits the ring and unloads on Evans and Flair, evening up the odds. It looks like Bayley was going to go to Becky and shake her hand, but Flair Flair attacks Becky from behind. Flair puts boots to Becky again. Flair then ends up going down in the corner. Becky stands up, but the fans chant for her to cash in, which she does. She picks up a briefcase, looks at it, looks back, finally hands it to the referee. And the referee's like, "Are you cashing in?" "Yes." She picks it up, she hands it to the referee and says she wants to cash it in. And the match is up, and it takes about a minute. Bayley grabs Charlotte, pulls her over from the corner. Bayley goes up top, and there's a big elbow drop to get the pin and win the title. After the match, Bayley takes the title and celebrates as the music hits. Bayley celebrates with the fans for a minute or two as we go to replay. Then we see Roman Reigns walking backstage after that match for his match with Elias. Well, Elias is slowly walking with his guitar from behind and nails him in the mid of the back and takes out Reigns with the guitar, the acoustic guitar. Well, he makes his way out to the ring and gives a performance, taking shots at Reigns and the people of Hartford. Elias makes his exit and stops on the stage to pose one more time, but Reigns' music hits, and out he comes with a big Superman punch. And the match is on. Reigns brings Elias back into the ring, and the bell rings. Roman versus Elias. Bell rings, and Roman immediately nails a spear on Elias and covers for the pin to win. The match only takes like 35 seconds. After the match, Reigns stands tall over Elias as his music hits, and by the way, Elias did play another guitar, and this time it's electric. None other than that. As Roman makes his exit, he's greeting fans in the front row. Announcers lead us to a video package for the next match. Universal title match, AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. And I did not get to see the finish of the match because it froze again. It will not go back to it as the match was already over. So I lost 30 more minutes to 45 minutes of the pay-per-view. But dirt sheet results. Universal Champion Seth was out after AJ came out. We get formal ring introduction from Rome before the match. The bell rings and they psych each other up. They lock up and go to the corner. Referee backs AJ off and counts to make it even. AJ with a quick shot to Rollins as he backs off. They lock up again and go back to the corner as the fans do dueling chants. "Let's go AJ, let's go Seth." They break again and they lock back up to trade holds. Rollins will take down, but AJ counters the follow-up. They face off again for a pop. More back and forth between the two again. Rollins levels AJ with a big clothesline. Rollins with a chop in the corner. Rollins keeps control and drops a knee for a quick 1 count. Rollins with a kick to the spine to keep AJ down. AJ runs into a boot in the corner. Rollins comes off the top, but has to land on his feet. AJ comes right back with a drop kick. AJ keeps control and takes Rollins to the corner for a shoulder thrust as the referee counts. AJ chops Rollins and nails the backbreaker. AJ talks trash and places the crowd for a pop. They unload on each other with strikes in the middle of the ring. They end up on the apron. AJ goes for the power driver on the apron, but is blocked. AJ with a knee to the face from the apron, sending Rollins down to the floor, on the floor. AJ brings it back in. They counter on the apron. AJ drops Rollins over the top rope. Rollins runs the ropes and nails a suicide dive, sending AJ back into the announce table. The referee counts. He makes it in by the 7 count. Rollins immediately sends AJ back over the top to the floor. Rollins with another suicide dive, sending AJ into the table again, announcer table. Rollins brings it back into the ring and unloads, as the announcer table did not break. And the announcers even thought that Rollins also hit the table. Well, he didn't. AJ with a forearm to the face. Rollins nails a sling blade. Rollins with a forearm and a springboard clothesline for the apron. AJ kicked out at 2. They trade more shots in the middle of the ring now. AJ drops Rollins naked into a knee for a pop. AJ with a flying forearm in the corner. So far, I'm still with the match at this point. AJ calls for a Styles Clash, but Rollins counters for a 2 count. AJ with a 2 count of his own. Rollins goes with another pin attempt. Rollins hits a buckle bomb. Rollins goes to the top for a big frog splash, but AJ kicks out at 2. Rollins rocks AJ with a big right hand in the corner. Rollins takes AJ to the top for a superplex, but AJ fights him off and to the mat. Rollins runs right back up, and AJ drops him face first into the turnbuckle. Snake eyes. AJ with a German suplex. Rollins counters and rolls AJ up for a 2 count. AJ with a block and a torture rack now. Pretty good. AJ turns that into a power bomb for a close 2 count. Actually, a torture rack into a neck breaker. Rollins dumps AJ to the apron, but AJ nails a forearm. AJ springboards up, but Rollins takes him in midair. Rollins puts AJ on the top, climbs up with him, facing his back. Rollins with an inverted superplex from the top, then holding on to it and driving AJ back into the mat. Falcon Arrow. AJ still manages to kick out at 2. Rollins cranks up for the stomp as the fan chant burn it down. Now it's Rollins with a kick. AJ counters and applies a calf crusher in the middle of the ring. AJ reaches, but AJ rolls him and tightens. Rollins goes and breaks a hold, kicking AJ in the jaw. They both get up at the same time. AJ with a moonsault into an inverted DDT for the second turnbuckle for a close 2 count. AJ awaits for Rollins to get up, but he walks right into a big super kick from Rollins. Both are down. They both get up, trade shots in the middle of the ring. Fans are dueling chants. AJ unloads with strikes and an enziguri. Rollins avoids a Pele kick and kicks AJ in the face. Rollins goes for the stop, but AJ turns into a Styles Clash. Rollins barely kicks out in time. AJ can't believe the kick out as we get a replay. Fans rally for both superstars again. AJ springboards in but slips a little. Rollins takes advantage and hits a ripcord knee and a super kick to the face. There was a spot in this match that wasn't in that sequence there, that they were on the apron. AJ tries to go for the Styles Clash on the apron, but Seth dropped out to the floor and pulled AJ back out and then got back into the ring. Well, all that. And then Rollins got back up and hits a big stomp for a pop after the ripcord knee and a super kick to the face. Rollins falls over and makes the cover to retain. Winner and still champion Seth Rollins. After the match, Rollins takes the title and recovers as we go to replays. AJ exits the ring as Rollins stands tall, has his arm raised, and the music plays. Rollins raises the title from the corner and looks on as AJ makes his exit. AJ returns to the ring and Rollins comes down from the top to meet him in the middle. They stare each other down. Rollins raises the title in AJ's face and shakes his head. AJ offers his hand for a shake, and some fans cheer. Others boo. Rollins thinks about it and finally shakes. AJ exits the ring. As his music hits, Rollins drops the title in the middle of the ring and looks on. His music starts back up. Well, I come back and get the feed going back on, and I already see the ending of the pay-per-view as Brock has won the Money in the Bank men's division. All I say is getting it and coming down as the pay-per-view goes off the air at that point. But I was able to rewind it to the point where Kofi Kingston was coming down for his championship match. And that was the next match. But Charlie Caruso is backstage with Xavier and Kofi. Woods mentions that he will respect Kofi's wishes to stay in the back for tonight's match. Kofi goes on and says tonight, it's not about just making a statement. It's about making a hell of a statement. And show Kevin Owens and whoever else thinks that they can use the New Day to get to the WWE title. And they can't. Kofi walks up and Woods dances for him. We go to ring. Out comes the Lucha House Party. Well, that was a segment I did not see. So we get the Lucha House Party. This is where I come back in with the House Party. The end of that segment. I didn't even know that they were even involved in this pay-per-view. Well, they had a match, 6-man match, supposedly. Les Dorado, Grand Metalik, and Kalisto. They take mics before the match and comment on every day being a Lucha House Party. Music interrupts. Out comes Lars Sullivan. Lars looks on and talks some trash as Metalik flies out of the ring. Lars catches him and slams him. Lynch flies out next, but Lars catches him. Then tosses him to the floor. Lars stares Kalisto down. Kalisto starts fighting as Lars enters the ring. Lars headbutts Kalisto and is now bleeding from the top of his head. A bloody Lars keeps up the attack and hits the running powerbomb. Lars stands tall over Kalisto as the music starts back up. Lars hits to the back, blood running down his face. Tom leads us to a video package for the next match. Your men's SmackDown Championship match. KO versus KK. We go to ring. Out comes Kevin Owens, who is fired up and ready to fight. Kofi Kingston was out next, but sees Xavier watching him make his entrance from backstage. Greg, actually, he was on the ramp. And when Kofi got down the ramp, Xavier exited the stage. Greg Hamilton does the formal ring introductions for the match. Bell rings and they immediately start brawling. Owens rocks Kofi, but Kofi comes out of the corner with a big clothesline. Owens goes to the floor for a breather. Kofi goes out and leaps off the steel steps, taking Owens back down. Kofi brings him back in, works over Owens in the corner. Owens goes to the floor for another breather. Kofi follows, but Owens rocks him. Kofi counters a whip and sends Owens into the barrier. Kofi keeps control and leaps off the apron, taking Owens back down. Kofi brings it back into the ring and keeps Owens down. Kofi with a headbutt in the corner. Kofi misses the move and Owens follows up with a big super kick to drop him. Owens stops away now and yells out at the crowd. Owens goes on and nails the senton for another pin attempt. Owens argues with the referee, thinking he got a 3 count. Owens keeps control and ends up launching Kofi out of the ring, causing him to collide with a cameraman. I didn't see that. Owens leaps off of the apron with a frog splash on the corner. Owens brings it back in and keeps control. Working Kofi around the ring, Owens counters a comeback attempt, but Kofi kicks Owens out of the corner. Kofi comes flying at Owens, but Owens kicks him in midair. Owens tries for a powerbomb, but it backfires and Kofi looks to have an opening. Now it's a fan chant and rally for him. Kofi runs into a boot, though. Owens misses the clothesline, and Kofi starts mounting offense. Kofi with a drop kick goes on and hits the boom drop, but Owens catches it and turns it into a Boston Crab in the middle of the ring. Kofi breaks the hold by getting to the bottom rope to escape. Owens goes for another apron powerbomb, but Kofi fights back. They trade shots on the apron. Owens with a kick. Owens charges, but Kofi hits a double stomp on the apron. Owens falls to the floor. Kofi goes to the top and leaps to the floor, but Owens meets him in midair with a super kick. Owens brings it back in the ring for a close 2 count. Owens taunts Kofi some and goes to goes for a pop-up powerbomb, but Kofi avoided it. Kofi misses the SOS. So they counter their finishers or setups. Owens misses the center. Kofi nails the SOS for a close 2 count. 1 signature. Owens blocks Trouble in Paradise and drops Kofi into another Boston Crab in the middle of the ring. Kofi does make it to the bottom rope to escape the hold. Owens plays the crowd some as he gets up. Owens goes for a super kick as Kofi goes for a move and they collide. Kofi tackles Owens and unloads with strikes. Owens counters the move and nails a pop-up powerbomb into a sit-down pin attempt. Didn't get the pop-up part. Kofi still kicks at it too. Owens is frustrated now. He yells at the fans to stop laughing. Yeah, like that's going to stop the crowd. Kofi blocks the center and hits the Trouble in Paradise, but he knocks Owens out of the ring off the move. Owens is laid out on the floor as the referee counts. As Kofi tells the referee to count, Kofi brings it back in the ring, but Owens kicks him and nails the center. Owens covers, but Kofi gets his foot on the bottom rope to say the pinfall. Owens removes Kofi's custom kicks and tosses them out. Owens goes to the top for a big swanton bomb, but Kofi got his knees up, and Owens lands bad off the knee, and Kofi nails the Trouble in Paradise right after that for the pin and retains. After the match, Kofi takes the title, hits corner to celebrate as the music hits. We're going to replay. Zombie runs down to celebrate with Kofi around the ring. Announces hype Super Showdown from Saudi Arabia, announcing Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley that is added to the card, and more matches will be announced on Raw. As I got news from a source that Braun Strowman was injured in last week's event, what have you, was taken out, could miss some time. But it's not announced by WWE, so nothing's confirmed. Money in the Bank ladder match for your main event. Constipated Corbin, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Andrade, Randy Orton versus and Ali. 7 men have been announced in the ring. No 8th man yet. Baron Corbin's out first. Corbin makes Mike Rowe give him a better introduction. Does his little sticks about he's every arena's hometown favorite. Followed up by Ricochet. Andrade was out next with Zelina Vega, but Zelina exited the match. Headed to the back. She hiked him up. Head to the back. Ali was out next, followed by Drew McIntyre. Randy was out next. Bell rings, and the match started with 7 superstars. No replacement for Sami Zayn yet. They all go at it, and we see the briefcase hanging high above the ring. Orton slams Ali on top of the announce table early on. But get this. Most of the wrestlers are setting up the ladder not under the briefcase, so you know something's not going to happen. They're not going to reach the briefcase. Chaos everywhere early on. Orton slams Balor on an announce table. Ricochet gets slammed on top of a table by Orton next. Fans are chanting for Orton while he's alone in the ring with a ladder. Orton stands the ladder up. Andrade springboards in and knocks the ladder over, but Orton avoids falling with the ladder. He just goes to the ring ropes, waiting like, okay, what's next? Drew and Constipated Corbin bring ladders in now. Drew gets it back out. As both guys are knocking wrestlers out with the ladders. Ladder into the gut. Ali drops Corbin on his face. Ali flies out and sends Drew into the barrier as 2 or 3 ladders are in the ring. Ricochet blocks Andrade and sends him out to the floor. Ricochet and Ali take turns ripping each other off the ladder. Ali and Ricochet finally meet up at the top of the ladder, but Corbin and Drew pull them off and beat them down. Corbin launches Ali on the ladder in the corner. Ricochet also gets launched into a ladder. Orton catches Corbin coming in the ring and draping DDT from the second rope. Orton goes for RKO on Corbin, but Corbin shoves him off into a Claymore kick from Drew. Double team action from both of them, as they've been doing lately. Balor with shots to Corbin and Drew. Now, Corbin stomps a ladder onto Corbin. Balor looks to stand the ladder up, but he slams it onto Drew instead. Balor climbs the ladder for the briefcase, but Andrade brings the ladder in to ram into him, sending Balor off the other ladder. Ricochet boots Andrade from the corner, but Andrade shoves him off the top out to the floor. But Andrade set the ladder side by side with him. Andrade climbs for the briefcase now. Balor climbs up on the other ladder and meets him. They trade shots up high, but midway, Andrade hits the sunset flip from the top of the ladder to another ladder that was bridged from the top rope. Both crash and land hard as the holy crap chant starts from the crowd breaks out. Ali nails a tornado DDT on Corbin and shots to others. Ali spikes Ricochet down on the mat he hits hard. Both guys are out on the outside. Ali positions the ladder and climbs up for the briefcase, but Andrade stops him. Andrade rocks Ali, leaving him high hanging from the ladder. Andrade, and this was like the tree of woe on the ladder. Andrade brings another ladder and stands it up next to the ladder. Since one ladder was knocked down, he stands them both up. Side by side. That Ali is hanging from. Andrade stomps on Ali while he's upside down. Andrade climbs up. Ali pulls himself up as they're simultaneously side by side, as he also climbs the case to grab the case with Andrade. They trade shots up high. Ali hits a huge Spanish fly from up top, driving Andrade down on the mat. Ali rolls to the floor in pain while the referee checks on Andrade on the apron. At one point, I think Ali had the briefcase, but he couldn't get it loose. Drew brings the ladder from under the ring, leans on it on the announce table. Ali tries to stop him. Drew rocks Ali back down. Drew bridges a ladder from the apron to the announce table that he got from underneath the ring. Of course, got to be long enough. Drew slaps Ali around and tries to put him up on the ladder bridge, but it backfires. Corbin comes over and chokeslams Ali through the Spanish announce table. As Constipated One smiles at Ali, fans chant, "You still suck," at Corbin. Corbin turns on Drew and drops him. Corbin runs to stop Balor from climbing the ladder. Corbin chokeslams Balor on the awkward edge of a ladder. Ricochet with a missile drop kick. Ricochet leaps out of the ring on Corbin, but Corbin nails a big deep six out on the floor as he immediately catches him and nails him right into it. Drew with a Claymore kick to Corbin on the floor. Gets his revenge on him. Balor climbs a ladder in the ring now. Drew comes in and rocks him to stop him. Drew rams a ladder into Balor in the corner. Drew with his big suplex to Balor on the top of a ladder. Outside, which the ladder crushes in half. Drew grabs Andrade and hits an Alabama slam on top of Balor on the ladder. Drew pushes him off the ladder and stands it up under the briefcase. Ricochet comes flying in to take Drew out. Ricochet positions the ladder and climbs up, but Drew grabs his leg and pulls him down. Drew manhandles Ricochet and tosses him out of the ring through the ladder bridge to the announce table. Drew climbs the ladder, but Orton nails a big RKO out of nowhere to bring him down off the ladder, not much high. Corbin sends Orton into the ring post and out of the ring. Corbin climbs up the ladder, but Ali comes from behind. Getting on Corbin's back up high, Ali dumps Corbin over the top and hangs on the apron. Ali climbs the ladder at this point and is hanging on the briefcase. As music hits and you got your 8th member of the match, Brock Lesnar coming out with Paul Heyman. You barely even see Paul Heyman into this, and they get a huge pop from the crowd. Nobody wants to see this. Lesnar then enters the ring, shoves the ladder with Ali down. What a wasted time of, he could have just got it down and won. Stupid as he would have pulled it down, he would have won the match anyways. Heyman barks orders at the apparent replacement for Sami Zayn. Lesnar stands the ladder up and climbs it. Lesnar stands up high on the ladder and yells out to the crowd and unhooks the briefcase, and it's your Money in the Bank winner. After the match, Lesnar stands up on the ladder and holds the briefcase as his music hits. As he's climbing the ladder, he's looking kind of dizzy, like he's afraid of heights. Crowd is shocked. Bodies are down all over on the outside. Lesnar looks down from the top of the ladder and smiles, laughing at everyone. 2019 Money in the Bank pay-per-view goes off the air with Lesnar clutching the briefcase from the top of the ladder, laughing. And that concludes my results for the pay-per-view. Thanks again. Peace out. See you when I'm here. If you don't know, just call me, brother, sister.